So far, we have been using map and map_when methods to create a branch of middleware pipeline. But there is actually another method, which is UseWhen. UseWhen is also a method to help us to branch out from an existing pipeline, but there is something special about this method. So let's grab the diagram over here. Okay, so with map or map_when, you are going to create a branch, and this branch is a complete separate branch. But sometimes we want this branch to rejoin back to the next middleware where it's branched out. For example, in this case, you might want this to rejoin back to middleware number 2 like this, right? So after middleware 6, it goes to middleware number 2, and then 3 and 4, and then everything returns back to 3, 2, and from number 2, it returns back to middleware number 6. So something like this. So if you want to create a rejoinable branch, number 5, number 6, then we can use the method UseWhen. So let's jump into Visual Studio and see how that is created. So before I do that, let me copy this diagram and paste it over to here. And let me recover this. All right. Now let's focus on creating a rejoinable branch like this, so that after this branch is executed, the request is forwarded to the original main branch. Let's jump into Visual Studio and try to do that. So here we have the map_when in the previous video to help us to create a completely separate branch. So instead of using map_when, we can use UseWhen. So let's go to this, and then we say UseWhen. All right, and then now you can see that we have a very similar signature here, or actually the same signature as map_when. So if I remove this and just change map_when to UseWhen, it's going to just work, but this time after this condition is met. So it works the same way as map_when in terms of the condition here. So if this condition is met, which means that this is going to return us true, then this branch of middleware pipeline will be executed. That means middleware component number 5 and 6 will be executed, but after that, so this next call, it's going to trigger middleware number 2 here, which means that it's rejoining just like the diagram here, number 5 and number 6. So after number 6, the middleware pipeline rejoins to middleware number 2. So this is a special type of branch, which is what I call a rejoinable branch. So use the UseWhen method to create a rejoinable branch. So let's run this application and see how it's rejoins from number 6 to number 2. Let's run. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. That's because the condition is not met. So if you remember, the condition is a combination of path as well as the ID query string. So if I hit enter now, you can see we go from 1 to 5. So we are picking up the separate branch here, right? And then we're going from 5 to 6. Now we're rejoining back to the main branch, which goes to number 2 and number 3. So this is the end of the entire pipeline. Right now it returns back to number 3, to number 2, now to number 6, number 5, number 1. So this is exactly what I showed you the diagram. So let's see where the diagram is right here. So 1, 5, 6, 2, 3. Well, on the diagram I have 4, but in the program I don't have 4, right? So it's 1, 5, 6, 2, 3, and then 2, 6, 5, 1. So if we go to this web application here, we have 1, 5, 6, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 6, 5, 1. So exactly like that. So this is what I want to show you. If you want to create a rejoinable branch, then use the UseWhen method instead of map_when method. And that's everything I want to show you in this video. If you have any questions, please let me know.